It's time once again to go racing.
It does not get any better than this.
The pressure is really on now.
Yes, it's pole position. Lights out and we're racing in PSGL.
The first lap has been absolute chaos.
What an overtake!
Oh no!
I've never seen anything like it.
Side by side again. This will be settled right at the end.
And welcome along to PSGL Season 30. This is PlayStation on the F2 tier, and we head to the final round of the season. Time does fly by when you're having fun. It is, of course, the Bahrain Grand Prix at the Bahrain International Circuit. My name is Jespel, and joining me in the commentary box for the final time this season, as he's been doing pretty much most of the season, it is, of course, Owen White. How are you doing?
Yes, hello viewers, and yes, doing very well. Looking forward to a race where everyone can just have a bit of fun. No championships to decide, it was all sorted last week, and what a race to have some good battles on hopefully tonight.
Yeah, indeed. Well, it used to host the season opener in season 29 in Bahrain, so it's come full circle, to be honest. It started the game on around this circuit, and we're ending the F1 2021 game on PSG around this circuit as well. And yes, as Owen was saying, Tom dominated that race last week. He got another win. Pretty much set. I'm trying to count how many wins he's got in a row. I think 6 wins in a row. The gap to Barat is 46 points. Mathematically impossible for anyone to beat Tom now. So Tom was crowned your F2 champion last week. Still third place, could be decided though, between Devon, Louis and CC Brain as well, with 71 points to Devon. CC Brain's got 65 points and Louis 61. Dino, I think, will be guaranteed 6th place, but we also got Bone and Legend in there as well. Legend had a great result last week as well. And of course, we had the Constructors wrapped up last week as well, with Aston Martin getting the gap that they need to win the Constructors. Well, we thought that, well, I think last week I remember on stream when I was watching, you think, oh, have they done enough? But we did the math just before this stream, and they have done enough. So Aston Martin have done the double, and Tom has done the drivers, but we still got third place to decide. So obviously Barat got second, but we are on the circuit now. 16 drivers, and you may notice as well, Tom's not racing tonight because he's been given the opportunity to race in F1. So he's won the title, so he's got nothing to lose. So wishing the best of luck for that. We'll be cheering him on in F1, so that's why he is missing. No teammate to replace him at the moment tonight, just because he's on his own. But the championship has decided, so nothing to worry about there. But well, this track has provided so much action in the past, hasn't it? In many PSGL league races, hasn't it?
Yeah, we've always had entertaining racing here, and I'm hoping the guys will just be able to let loose a little bit more this time, because for the most part, it's all decided now. All the stuff at the front's decided. Hopefully we'll just get a DRS train, but you know what, even if we do, we tend to see a lot of infighting within that. I think you've seen plenty of times races end with battles for the lead in the last few laps. It seems to always happen, so regardless, we should get some good action. And yeah, very nice to be ending the season here, and for the first time in 7 races we aren't going to see Tom anywhere near a podium or a win. It'll be a bit of a refreshing for everyone this one, so I'm sure they'll all be looking to end the season on a high.
Yes, quite a few people were very close to getting the win last week as well. Of course, we had Legend, like I was saying. Dino as well had a very good result last week in Imola, getting a 3rd place, so those two were quite close. Bowden was very close in USA to taking the win as well, helping his teammate Barat very well in that race to keep his fight alive just a little bit, so we can cut close up there. Or maybe we could see an upset from some of these drivers. We've got Addy, who is coming across the line, the first driver to set a run on the soft compound tyres. We've got 3 drivers who just set their lap on the mediums. and it is a 1:26.2. Expect times to be in the 1:25s. We've seen Steph that's just gone off in turn 7, which is kind of interesting actually. He's so easy to lose the car there on traction as well, but not the curves are not as deadly as the beginning of the game, of course. Now we got Ricky up to the line, 1:25.822, so we're starting to see more representative times to the board because it's all just going through sector 2. Now let's see what he could do in the lone Aston Martin as well. He's had some bad luck for most of the season, a lot of DNFs, but he got his one and only win in Austria. We thought he had his return to form. I thought he'd be in the championship, but he wasn't. But maybe this could be the race where he takes his second win. A bit squirmy into the final corner, but he goes up to the line. Can he get pole at the moment? Yes, he can. 1:25.7.
So Devon, out there as well, looking to try and get the 3rd place in the championship. His first season in the F2 tier. Currently sitting P4 for now. And a very good season for him so far, has to be said. He's done very well. Coming up from F3 last time, and not obviously going to be able to predict where he'll be next season because it'll be a new game. But yeah, ending this one off, hopefully on a high tonight. And we'll definitely keep an eye on him. But not that many laps set in the first runs. Only 9, and only 6 of those on the softs. So plenty still to come in this session, let's say. As you see a McLaren off, I believe that is Nicolo crossing the line. He's done this a few times this season, where he'll go out in his first run will last a few laps. So this is very much an ordinary circumstance for him to find himself in. But yeah, it does look like most of the field are either Lennaps or Nicolo.
Yes, I believe Nicolo did score, I think he scored a point last week in Imola as well. I'm sure he wanted something higher, but at least he's keeping up his round of good form since, I would say, Belgium as well. The only time he hasn't scored points in the last 6 or 7 races is United States, where he got nothing at all. I think he got unlucky in terms of the strategy. Quite a lot of people are going to go into the pits, actually. Quite an interesting fact about the track. First use in Formula 1, 2004, where it was actually a day race. It's designed by Herman Tilke, and we saw Michael Schumacher taking the win there, and it ended up a Ferrari 1-2. Only one Ferrari driver tonight of Matteo, no Cameron Dowles tonight, so we won't see a repeat of that. It became a night race back in 2014, where we saw some epic duels since then. Hamilton versus Rosberg. Last season we had Hamilton versus Verstappen, and this season, of course, we've had Leclerc versus Verstappen as well. So it was quite titanic, to say the least, as well. And we've been in many layouts in real life. Of course, we had the outer layout he used in 2020 as well, and what a race that was. And we had the endurance layout in 2010. I don't think that was used again though after that, because it was very long, and this is the layout that we've used today since 2004. I think Pedro de la Rosa got the lap record for that one, 1:31.447. I believe that was his race lap record there as well. More people on their second runs on the softs as well. I would say more people are going to try and do soft to mediums, but they're going to have to try and stretch out their softs for just a little bit longer, because we've seen in most Bahrain races on this game, tyre deg is not the best around here, and especially tyre temps as well. We already seen that in a lot of night races this season, that they've just got to manage their tyres just a little bit more compared to other races on this calendar as well, because it still sits there fastest. Boland's about to start his lap as well. Let's see what he could do from 8th place.
Yeah, heading through the first couple of corners now. Should be flat out through turn 3. Sometimes you used to sort of bottom out when you hit the curve there, but at this point the setup's to the point where you'd never have to worry about that. Turn 4 hits the apex. Be careful you don't go too wide on the exit. Bit of a snap, but it's alright. You can ride the curves a decent chunk here through the chicane now. At the start of the game again, you couldn't do that, but you can see Boland is all over the curves. Misses the apex a little bit at 8. Would have wanted to get a bit more tight in there, but not the end of the world. And then the downhill turning braking zone for 10, absolute nightmare for these guys to get round on no ABS, of course, as Boland opens up the DRS for the second time on the lap. One more detection zone after this on the run to the finish line. Turn 11, easy to lose the rear here when the tyres are starting to go. Shouldn't be an issue if you're qualifying. Stay away from the curb in 12. Get close but not touching it, because you will spin. 13, be careful on track limits here. This is where you might well see a lot of the warnings in the race come from. And you can see Bolin wants as wide an entry as possible into the final corner. He's got all the way to the white line and then comes through and again very wide in the last corner. So taking interesting lines to P1. We've seen a very interesting interpretation of the lap here, but you can see just how much you have to exploit everything to get a strong lap here. As I think Kryptonite's just crossed the line. He's gone into 5th place. His teammate CC Brain getting ready to start a lap. And Azzy is currently, according to the game, going purple in the middle sector. We'll see if that holds. He needs to find a good 3/10s in the last sector to make it a properly purple time. So I'd be surprised if he does that. Well, let's see as he comes through. Might get a distant toe of the Alpine in front of him. That would be Ricky. And as he comes to the line, yeah, he finds a little bit more time, but only enough to go into 5th place. Dino in the background crossing the line. He has gone up into the top 4. And who else is out there? We've got, I believe Legend, is that? Or is it his teammate Frankie starting the lap? Legend's already on the lap, but he's on the mediums again. As is Cohen and Barak. They're saving their quick times for the end and also saving a set of softs. I wonder if they're planning on a 2-stop tonight. I'd be surprised if they did that, to be fair. But it's always worth having it in your locker in case you get a late safety car or something like that.
Yes, and it is the last race as well. It's no next race or anything like that, so we get to see people being a little bit more ambitious as well if they have nothing to fight for. But obviously Devon has a lot to fight for, so is CC Brain, and they're quite close together in the overall timing order in qualifying, so that's going to be intense. I think just under a tenth separating those two as well, and then we got Dino not that far behind. I think it's around about a 6-point gap separating him in between himself and CC Brain, Devon and CC Brain. So it could go either way tonight. Could be a dead heat. So Devon can't afford to have a bad race. So Nicolo in the McLaren in his first soft run, because it all goes fastest once again. Can Nicolo go even fastest? No, he can't. But quite close to Cazidal's time with a 125.6. We've got Frankie, who's going across in the middle sector. I don't think he got purple, and I don't think he's improving on his lap. No, but he's not. I think he aborted that lap. What about Louis? Is he improving on his run there? Well, it was lucky that he didn't invalidate. We got yellow flag. That's probably just people moving out the way. So he has more clear air in front of him. Does the Alfa Romeo Blue? He also had a good season so far as well. Got quite a few podiums as well, despite not attending a few races, and he goes into the pits just like that. So I'm guessing he wants to have time to go again. Most people are either aborting or invalidating, so because it's all set in the early benchmark right now, but we are starting to see more times being set from people who you might expect. No surprises at the moment, unless it's Cazidal. People that I'm usually expect to be up there is up there, but Nicola, I'm not usually expecting him to see him in P2, so he's a stellar performance so far, but I know there's more time on the table left for especially Baraka, Cohen, Devon, CC Brain, Louis. These guys I think can go way quicker.
Yeah, we'll see how Devon gets on this lap actually. A little bit down in the first sector, coming through the middle sector now. And he is now up, not by much, but enough to maybe make 1 or 2 spots. Sits P10 at the minute, so there'll be plenty of scope to improve. But let's see, as he heads through the last corners now. Definitely was time to improve. He was a bit slidey on the exit of 11, but yeah, I'd maybe take another at least a 10th off this as he crosses the line. And as he goes P7, that could easily be a top 5 time if he just has the grip for the whole lap. So not too bad. As Frankie comes through the last corner. And, well, he was up in the middle sector by nearly 0.4 of a second. But as he comes into the pits, there was clearly some sort of problem. And he's decided to go for some new tyres at the end. And I think that's his team actually coming out to start the final runs. A couple of them already out there. Bolin, Dino, Steph. And indeed, Frankie, I think that was on his way out as well, perhaps. Or Legend, sorry, I should say. So, yeah, that might be people thinking about doing 2 runs.
Yes, because I think it's a bit too early just to do 1 run as well, because you'll probably have to abort it as well. But I know most people just want to have a safety net as well. If you abort your first run, then you can go again for your second run, but it doesn't leave you a lot of confidence. So we'll run for your order as we head almost to the 3-minute mark. So Cazidal is on provisional pole with a 125.675, closely followed by Nicola Soro. In the McLaren, 125.690. Bolin in third with a 125.757. Ricky in fourth, 125.822. Fifth is Dino, who's on his outlap at the moment, 125.938. Not that far behind is CC Brain with a 125.951. And Devon with a 125.971. So CC Brain just pipped Devon there. Louis in 8th with a 125.985. And then we got Azzy and Kryptonite in the 126s. So we only got 8 drivers in at the 125. Expect to see more people in at the 125s very, very soon. Barak didn't get another good run in, so he'll get to go again most likely as he's just come out heading in towards Turn 1. Let us know your predictions in the chat as well. That will be lovely. We'll see what Bolin could do on his first run. I believe, trying to see who'll be the first person to set a lap. It will be Steph, I believe, in the AlphaTauri. So he's going to be the pace setter for this final half of qualifying. 3 tenths up on his previous best, so it's looking good. That will probably put him near where Frankie is. So not quite enough for pole position. But at least he has one more run just to really hit it home at the moment. He's got enough ERS. He's managing his ERS very well, actually, but we'll see if he derates across the line. He does not, a 126.3, so he found an extra tenth in that final set. Looks pretty decent, but not enough to get into the top 10 right now. But we still got pretty much the big hitters still to set a good run and can challenge Kazizzle.
So Bolin, 1,000th of a second off P1 through the first sector, so he's got his target then. For the rest of the lap, let's see how the middle sector's going. And he's nearly a tenth and a half up. So as long as he doesn't get this wrong, it should be the Mercedes going all the way up to the top for now. And his teammate is the car behind on outlap, Barak. So we'll see him towards the end of the session. But let's see how Bolin gets on first. Right last quarter, again stays very wide and then cuts back across to cross the line and extend or go back to P1. 8 hundredths away. Now, because but he is on a night lap, and we will see how he gets on at the end of the session. Now, who else is going to be out there? We've got Dino slow, so he's going to go for another lap. He was on one, but you can clearly see he's weaving about, getting ready for another lap, as is Kryptonite. And looks like Legend was that, coming for the last corner, also slow. So yeah, these guys never seem to get it on the first final run. They always want to go for more than one. That's why they go out early, to give themselves a safety net, just in case this does happen. Louis does, though, look like he's able to finish it, and he's very competitive so far. Let's see if he can get himself up to the front. Yes, he does. It's 25.562 now. So, Nicolo, his turn. He goes up to second fastest. Very, very tight stuff. Kazizzle starting his final lap, so we'll keep our eye on him, see how he gets on. Devon as well starting the final lap, and Cohen too. And here comes Azzy through the last corner. Slow, almost through there. I mean, he may have found maybe another half 10 if he had an optimal exit as he goes up to P6. It wouldn't be much of a difference, I don't think. He's probably going to fall down a little bit if he's not careful. Like to CC Brain, Devon, I'd expect to get up there. But let's see, Barak, he certainly should get up there. I don't see any reason why this can't be very much near the top and not at the top. But he can, because it's going to go only 12th fastest. So whatever's happening on that lap, he's going to be starting relatively far back. Maybe he fancies trying to go for the alternate strategy. And that's his master plan there. So we will see how that all ends up going. His teammate will be coming into the pits. Frankie is in Narnia, so there's going to be no time from him. And Legend, up by 8 tenths so far. It's decent. He's up into P5. Red Bull's coming across the line now. First up, Kryptonite. Stays 11th fastest. And then we see Dino finish has gone 6th. CC Brain has gone 5th. And then we will see Devon's teammate, first of all, Steph, goes to 12th, and then Devon coming through to the final corner. Keep my eye on Kazizzle. I'm not sure if he's on a quick lap. He is certainly not. So Devon, can he do anything to get himself further up the grid here? P8. So I think that is pretty much it. Because Cohen goes P6, that I believe is the last proper time. Because Azzy's slow, Kazizzle's slow, and the top two are also slow. Which means that Louis, for Alfa Romeo, will be on pole for the season finale by 0.017 seconds.
Quite close indeed. I believe that's his first pole position of the season as well, yet to pick up a win. His closest chance to get a win was in Saudi and in Singapore night races. So maybe night races is a strong suit. His tyres management suits him better as well. So good to see him up there. Nicolo actually goes into the pits. Most people are actually going into the pits as well. Strong performance from Nicolo in qualifying, managing to improve even more to P2. And also nice from Cazzizzle to be up there in the top 4 once again. Let's hope he can stay there this time as well. And obviously Bolan waving the flag for Mercedes. Barak only in P14, so not as comfortable as the other drivers around here. But you don't get points in qualifying, you get points in the race. But I think for a safety net, at least he knows he's going to be P2, I believe. Yeah, he will be P2 because the gap is more than 16 points to Devon, so it's 23 points. So yeah, Barat will get P2 for definite. So he could just have some fun this race and go for the alternate strat if he wants to, which works well around here. We've seen it in the other PC tiers earlier on as well. So should be interesting. And the Frenchman on pole position. We'll see if Louis can keep it up there in pole position. And less than half the races held at this circuit have been won from pole. So not a good stat, but Louis going to try and break that stat here tonight.
Yeah, he will give it his best shot. Like I say, we have seen here definitely that the racing is very competitive, and that is why people end up not quite winning from pole. So we will, yeah, see how this all happens as Louis is on pole. From Nicolo, Bolan, Cazzizzle, CC Brain, Cohen Legend, Dino, Devon, Ricky all started on the sauce. Then Azzy, Kryptonite, Steph, Barak, Frankie, and Mateo. The only driver out there not to register a time.
Yeah, so I'm guessing he was probably aiming for the alternate strategy to begin with as well. And still quite close between the front lot as well. I wonder if a few people were backing off for the alternate strategy. I did see a few people back off on their laps, not really trying hard on their final runs as well outside the top 10. There's only 6 people that can have 3 choice of tyres. Well, pretty much more than last week, but still, it's you probably want to do better if you're outside the top 10. But there's one thing on actually catching up to the likes of the medium runners, but it's one thing of actually passing them. So they're going to find it very tough. But the gap between the softs and the mediums, when they're on the same tyre, 1 second. So if it's more than 1 second, I would strongly suggest the alternate strategy is a bit OP around this. I would say the same for USA as well, we found around that track as well. So quite similar characteristics there as well. And yeah, people can't afford to have a bad race tonight because it's not just about 7 positions in the championship. It's fighting for your spot to be either staying in F2 or in F1, because if you have a bad result tonight, Connor and Louis may have no option but to demote you for next season.
I'd say the good news is, or maybe the bad news, depends, is that obviously we go to a brand new game after this, so really anyone could find a big improvement. So even if this doesn't go great, they will be thinking about who is where, but this might be one of those rare situations where you find that actually it's going to be more about the qualifiers to get into next season to then see what happens. But of course, a good end to this season does help your sort of reputation. So let's see what everyone's starting on. That is definitely not the line for CC Brain. He's taken the Mazepin route really through that corner.
Oh god.
And that's not exactly what you want to be doing, but at least he's done it on a formation lap and not the actual race start. And unlike in real F1, you can get back to your start position once you fall to the back. But anyway, after that, we can talk about the starting tyres. Azzy, only man in the field to be starting on the hard compound tyres. The rest behind him, Kryptonite, Steph, Barak, Frankie and Mateo, are all going to be on the mediums. Top 10 on the softs that they qualified on.
It's going to be the last time as well in PSGL in this tier that the top 10 have to start on the tyres they qualified on. Because on the new game, they get to choose what tyre they want to. So we'll open up the strategy as well. So it's the last chance really for people on the alternate strategy to make the most of it really. So I'm not really that surprised that Azzy's gone for the hards, but I'm not surprised to see everyone else on the mediums wanting to do that medium to soft strat. It's your last race in PSGL where you make the most of this rule, so use that opportunity wisely. And if they don't use that opportunity wisely, well, there's going to be people inside the top 10 or have that free choice as well next season.
So here they come then, round the last corner. The game likes to be at the 2-stop, and wouldn't be at all surprised actually if someone thinks about trying it today. Just to see. I certainly wouldn't be going to do a 1-stop here. I've always tried 2 stops here. Eventually I'll get one to work. Perhaps these guys give me some inspiration. As Louis parks himself on pole position. It's a very long run down towards turn 1 and a very decent corner for overtaking. So if you do find yourself under pressure, you could have cars coming past you at a rapid rate. As Mateo gets himself onto the last grid slot. And once he parks it up, we can look up to the lights and we can get the finale of this season underway. Championship's all decided. These lot racing for fun. All 5 lights on. And we are away in Bahrain. Looks like it's a decent start from Louis. It looks like Bolin will be giving a challenge to the McLaren of Nicolo for 2nd place in towards turn 1. I'd be surprised if he doesn't get himself round the outside as well, because he'll have the inside for 2. This should work out for him, and the Mercedes is up into 2nd place. Louis gets himself away. He's already half a second clear, got a decent gap. Shouldn't be under any pressure as they all get themselves through turn 3 for the first time. And now a bit more side by side, and a front wing missing for Cohen on the right hand side.
Yes, and someone's gone for a spin. That is Ricky. So he's had a bad start to this race so far, but Louis is holding on to his position in first at the moment. Positions gained on the opening lap so far. Dino's gained a few places as well, and Cohen's going to drop even more. It's Addy going side by side heading towards turn 8 as he gets past Steph. So that's position gained for him. Biggest loser is obviously Ricky. That's spun. Kryptonite trying to go down the left-hand side into 10. Heavy on the brakes as well. It's a heavy braking zone as well. Steph could try and get past Kryptonite again. No DRS, remember, until lap 3. So they're going for it before the use of DRS. Steph is going very aggressive, actually. But you can go aggressive in this race. But you don't really want to be causing damage at the moment, as he is showing that Cohen's damage is definitely worse for wear. So Cohen will have to go into the pits, and he's pulled off at the moment as well. So Dino having the best start out of the drivers in the top 6. Obviously Bone had a good start as well. Nicolo though didn't get off the line very well, did he?
Nah, it wasn't great off the line, but only lost to 1 position, so plenty of time to recover it. The reason these lot are fighting so much early on towards the back is because they want to get past the hard runner, and to see the Williams there of Legend fighting with Dino, the Alpine, just staying ahead for now. But they want to get in front of Azzy right now, because you're stuck behind a man on the hard, you will end up falling back. So expect to see Kryptonite trying to get himself past, probably in the first sort of DRS lap. And until then, he'll need to hope that Steph doesn't attack.
Yes, I'll get the tyres up very quickly as well. Azzy doing a very good job on those hards, actually, trying to keep the medium tyres steady as well. And the hard is actually quite a nice tyre to race around in Bahrain, due to the temperatures are quite cool as well, but that's probably why Azzy has chosen it. So, and Kryptonite is definitely getting frustrated, and so is Steph as well. So we'll see if Steph will go for the move on Kryptonite. He's probably going to wait until Kryptonite makes the move on Azzy, I think, before so. And I don't think Kryptonite is close enough. I think he's going to wait for the DRS heading towards turn 4, I would say. Be a bit patient. That's what you got to do as a racing driver. You can't afford to go for moves too early on, because it will waste your tyres, and you want to get your tyres to last as long as possible. To be fair, you got to last into around lap 18-19 before pitting for the soft compound tyres later on, because that's what Kryptonite will be doing. As he's gone a bit wide, that will allow Kryptonite to get some extra speed with his overtake. There's no DRS, remember, because the detection point is heading towards turn 1. So Kryptonite's got him.
That's a bad move, I think, because Azzy, well, depends where they break, but Azzy might get the DRS back. He does. I have no idea what Kryptonite's thinking there.
No.
There's no need to do that. And then Steph's going to get him. That is per racecraft, which could cost him positions in the championship, because, well, actually could have. I don't know where he is, actually, but it cost him time in the race, because they're already 3 seconds back from Devon, and if he had just waited a bit longer, he wastes ERS, and then loses the place back anyway.
Kryptonite's in P17 on 24 points. We got Steph on 14 points. Azzy is only on 5 points. So Kryptonite can't beat Azzy, but Steph is the man that Kryptonite's got to worry about, because he's close to him in the championship. Only by a few positions though. But Steph could gain 10 points on him, and that will be his position lost. But at the moment, Kryptonite does have the advantage because he's in the points. So that's the update on him in the championship as well. And we're not seeing the top 8 moving anymore as well. They're still in that train, and I think we're going to see this for quite a while due to the Dirty Air losing a bit of downforce around this track as well. We will see, I think, someone probably going for it up front, and that will allow everybody else just to be like, you know what, I want to go for it too. Nicolo is thinking about it. And we've got Barat, who's got past Steph, I believe. Steph's gone wide again. I wonder if he's going to do exactly the same thing to what he did to Kryptonite.
Well, I think Barak pretty much pushed him off. It wasn't that bad of a push, but Kryptonite's going to go past Azzy again into turn 1. Is Azzy going to pull the same tricks he did last time and get the DRS? I would say yes, he will, but would he be able to get himself overtaking him again? He's not using the ERS, so Kryptonite will stay ahead this time. And Azzy gets to deal with Barak, which I imagine will not be a long battle, because Barak, I'm sure, will be pretty desperate to get himself through and not get stuck.
Yes, I think quite a lot of people just want to get past Azzy as soon as possible. I think Barat's not that far behind either, and I think the more you stop behind another car, the more your tyre life just goes and goes and goes, really. So it's getting quite quiet between, obviously, everybody else, but Azzy is probably being the scene of most of the battles here this afternoon, as well as Devin. Speaking of that, Devin's going to try and have a battle with Legend into turn 13. Not the easiest place to do it. It is quite an understeery part of the track, but Devin holds his nerve. I don't know how he holds his nerve, to be honest, as he does the same. No, he doesn't do the same Kryptonite spun. So he's had a bit of an off, showing how understeery that part of the track can be on a set of tyres, which is not the best in these type of conditions, but it can last longer. But his tyres are going to be absolutely hot right now, as we've got a change for the lead.
So Libby, I think he's happy enough to let this happen because he can save a little bit of ERS, and of course he gets the DRS back up towards turn 4. So Bolin leads away, and will Libby use any of this ERS? No. This will give him an opportunity to save some of that up. FBR teammates, of course, so they'll be happy to work together. I don't know if they'll be in a party together or anything. Some teams will have that, as Barak on the DRS gets himself to the lead of the alternate strategy drivers. And that's good stuff from him there. But yeah, I've got to say, the move from Devin just did not work because he went through on the inside of 11, but it was a very well, I wouldn't say it was a late move as he falls further, but he had to bump and barge his way past Legend, and Frankie has had an accident on the exit of 8 that could bring out a safety car and does. And just looking at this, I think the whole top 8 are from different teams, aren't they? So they can all pit if they want to. Might not be advised. It might be too early for that, but if they fancy a 2-stop later on, perhaps this could give them the opportunity to do that, because medium runners aren't going to pit right now, probably. And it would mean that they'd be right on the back of the train. So if anyone wants to employ a 2-stop today, they could make the first of those stops now, if they want to. So let's see what's going to happen here. As Bolin, running the last corner, does go for the pit lane, as does, I would imagine, the rest of the top 8. Will Barak stay out? No, he'll also come into the pits.
Barak will probably go on hards.
Pretty much then be all of the cars, apart from Azzy, into the pits. Which I suppose Azzy, nothing really else he can do, is it, on the hards? But he will lead the race. And wow, look at the amount of hard tyres being put on. Bolin goes for mediums, Louis for mediums, but a lot more of them on hards. CC Brain Legend, the only other ones who went for hards, or for mediums, rest on hards. Will they get to the end, these mediums? It'll be tight, but if they need to pit, they can go for softs, and they'll be against all hards, effectively. So that gives them, I'd say, plenty of flexibility in this race, to be honest.
Wow, I was not expecting everybody to have a split strategy. We've got 4 drivers on the mediums. They're going to hope that there is a safety car to bring them back into this race. The ones on the hards are going to hope there's no safety car, because the hards will get to the end of this race. And they will have the best tyre life at the end as well. Azzy, obviously the only driver yet to pit. Cohen pits as well on a set of mediums, so he probably thinks he can get to the end too. We have seen a lot of 2-stop strategies here in Bahrain as well. A lot of safety cars as well that we didn't talk about. So it is possible. It is the Aston Martin safety car for the final time. Well, not for the final time this season. We could see more safety cars. You never know as well. I wonder if some drivers in real life have been in a position where they haven't been used to leading a lap before. Remember Antonio Giovinazzi in Singapore, but he didn't have the safety car luxury, as he must be under huge pressure to keep the lead. But everyone else is going to be on fresh tyres, so he's going to get bumped into last place. So, but yeah, he has no other choice. He doesn't think the means are going to get to the end. So starting on the hard is always going to be a risky strategy. He was going to hope for no safety car, and there is one. So he's pretty much screwed. But there's still a long way in this race to go, and anything can still happen. If there's another safety car, he can go on mediums.
Look, it's never over yet, because he can pit for sauce at the end if he wants to, and then, you know, he'll have pace. If the others don't pit and he pits for sauce, he'll have pace. Because if these guys are going to hards, they'll be wanting to go to the end, won't they? And that might be his ace up his sleeve, because he'll be able to pit, stick sauce on, 2 or 3 seconds a lot quicker, onto the train, and then it's about making overtakes happen. And I suppose he'd be looking at doing that, possibly around lap 20, around that area, get the most out of it. So it's not like his race is totally over. The only issue is, of course, he may not pit from the lead, because he'll lose that probably. But, you know, fighting against other hard compound runners gives him a chance to stay in top 5, perhaps. You know, if he's got good racecraft, perhaps this could play out okay for him. If it was guys on soft fighting him now, then he'd be in trouble. But I think you can keep him still in the running just about for now.
Yeah. I have to say, it's not over until it's over. It's not over until the checker flag falls. There may be someone that bins it, and it gives Azzy a chance once again. So he's got to hope that he does not give up as well. We've seen an Alexander Albon strategy for him going on the hards for a little bit longer, and then him getting some points. So Azzy has not had the best of luck in terms of DNFs. I think he's had the most DNFs this season, only scoring points once, and that was 5 points actually in Saudi. The rest of them were either DNFs or no points. I think the race he got no points was Belgium, Zandvoort and Singapore. He actually finished those races. So we're having high hopes for him that he can finish this, because it is a night race. But the rest of the races he's, of course, DNF'd. Will safety car come in? Because everyone else is pretty much caught up to the field. Barak has overtaken Mateo under the safety car. That is interesting. I think Barak's backing off a little bit to let Mateo through, or is it the game allowing him? The game's allowing him, apparently. That is weird. And the safety car's not coming in yet. I think we'll have to wait until this turn in order for the notification to pop up. Yeah, it goes. Safety car is in this lap.
And a restart then as he gets to control in the Haas. Let's see how he handles it. Will he be able to keep the lead in towards turn 1, or will he get jumped? That's the question, and we will certainly be keeping our eye on it. And Legend has had a collision, and there may be front wing damage, so we'll keep our eye out for that. Whether there's a pit stop, there's definitely a penalty, and yes, there is front wing damage on Legend's car. That is a medium runner already out of the action, and Dino, of course, falling down too. And we get away, and Azzy has definitely had a good restart. He will not be challenged in towards turn 1. Louis, will he think about getting himself back past Bolin? Again, he's close, but not close enough, and it would be a bit silly to go for a move like that too early. As you can see from CC Brain trying it on Kazizzle, but not able to get himself through. It's just too much of a risk to take, and if you make contact and lose your front wing, it sets you back too far, because you'd have to go the whole lap of the damage, then pit, then change the wing. By the time you're all done, I mean, look how far Legend is back. It ruins your race.
Yeah, because Legend had to go into the pits after the contact he made in the safety car. And this track is known for being a power circuit. So if the low downforce is key around certain parts of the track as well, there's many long DRS straights as well, and very tricky corners that require sometimes higher wing. So if you have no front wing or damage to your car, you're going to lose so much power on the straights. It'll be unbelievable as well. It's not as high speed as compared to other circuits as well. I have to say, Azzy did a fair job staying in the lead. I thought he was being passed by Bolin right now, but he's doing a solid job. To be honest, he pretty much defended quite nicely from the medium runners early on as well. So that's pretty decent so far, and we'll see how many positions he gains, I think, really, from this restart, as he's using his battery as well. Bolin's definitely going to get past him though on this start-finish straight. No, as he
Louis gonna
defends.
pass both of them. I don't know why Boland's doing that, because Louis can take advantage if he wants to, but he also then goes back. And is that all about playing chicken for DRS? That is interesting stuff, but it puts Boland under such risk if he gets that wrong. And he nearly did. Louis Knight, can he get himself past Azzy? He sort of has to now, doesn't he? And oh, I think Azzy was trying to go and just look on the inside of Boland. Hopefully there's no front wing damage done there, as he definitely gave Louis a decent old hit. It's a racing incident, it shouldn't be anything for the stewards to look at there, but yeah, that's the front two away now, and it looks to me like Louis will be okay with no damage.
Yes, I think he's just about got away with that. Yeah, he's falling away from Azzy, so he's absolutely fine, but challenging Boland I think it's going to be even more difficult right now, but never say never to Louis. Still yet to pick up his first win of the season. Boland has been quite close a few times. I'm trying to look at the standings. Does Boland want to race this season? No, he's not. I think he's come close quite a few times. I think he got a P3 in Saudi, and that's pretty much it. Everyone else, I think he just missed out as well. So he could be another different winner of the season, apart from obviously Tom, that's won the last 6 races. So that could be a change. And the first person who's won a race this season, don't forget, is the other Mercedes, of Bahrain, in Portugal, which was the first race so many moons ago, 15 rounds ago to be frank. So we'll see. CC Brain actually gets past Nicolo actually, heading towards turn 1. I don't think Nicolo's going to pull up a fight there in towards turn 1. He does not. I think Kazillo might try to go for it as well. Nicolo's teammate though has better advantage as Cohen gets past Steph. Don't forget Steph's on the hards and Cohen's on the medium, so about a 6/10 difference there. Makes all the difference there. Dino gets past Steph as well, so I wonder if Steph is just not liking those hard tyres, unfortunately. I don't think he is. He's struggling a little bit compared to the other drivers. Watch out for Kryptonite. He could probably get them soon as well. DRS will be activated once again on the next lap, so I think we should be able to see more moves. Azzy's out of DRS, so CC Brain could get Azzy on the next lap into P3. He's got the pace advantage. I think he's 3/10 is a good enough gap to even get past, so I think he may breeze past heading towards turn 4.
Should be easy enough for him as he heads through, because Azzy will not be able to close in on Louis, because Louis will keep getting DRS. And Azzy, I suppose he's basically waiting to be around where Nicolo is, and then he can fight with him, and he may stand sort of more chance of staying up there, and that's why I suggest he may end up still sitting in the top 5 for a decent while, as CC Brent gets on the DRS. Louis sets the fastest lap, not a massive surprise of all the DRS that he's able to have, and CC Brain goes through. Louis gets close but doesn't make the move, and Azzy will also have Nicolo going through, and that is Nicolo up into 4th place. And let's see, the fight for the lead. It's not really a fight yet, is it? Even though Louis actually used so much, if not all, of his ERS. So he'll need to save that at some point. So it probably wouldn't be the best move actually to overtake now, because he'd have no power to sort of sustain it.
No, I think I'm a bit surprised that Louis used quite a lot of ERS already, because it is hard to charge around this circuit unless you're in turn 10. I was saying heavy braking zone. Legend is out. He's retired in the pit lane, so he decided enough's enough. So he had a good result last week with a P2. Well, he's not going to have a good race to end off the season, unfortunately. So his season has ended on a low. He's left the session. He's not happy at all. So I believe that's both Williams out of the race.
Indeed, both Williams gone. One through an accident, another through, I suppose, also an accident, but it's the fact that he wasn't going to be able to catch up afterwards is why he's decided to go in. And so it's what I was saying last week. Sometimes he's really on form, Legend. Other times he's absolutely nowhere. And sadly, it's another one of those absolutely nowhere races. And well, hopefully he can take his summer break and come back refreshed for next season. Here comes Kazizzle now on Azzy, and he's used a lot of VRS to get himself through. Will he be within the DRS range of Nicolo? I think he's just about made it, and that's why he had to use that ERS, just to make sure he would still get the DRS, otherwise Azzy would have been straight back past him. But in this scenario, Azzy will not be able to challenge, although it has to be said that Kazizzle through the first turn lost a couple of tenths, and even with the DRS, isn't actually within a second right now, so he needs to close that back up still.
Another
and we got
yellow
yellows
flag.
for Cohen, who's on the sauce right now. So the last thing he needs is to be sliding the bike like the way he is, and he's all over the show. What on earth's happened to him? He's
on mediums on my screen.
So he's on the mediums. He's cooked them, whatever he's done to them. 5 laps old only, and like I say, he doesn't want to be wasting like this, but he's yeah, falling way back. But hopefully, he's gonna be able to get that under control soon. As I can see, Louis has started to save a little bit of the DRS, but Boland still has just way more. CC Brayton's got less than both of them, mind you, and he's still using. He's trying this to get into the DRS range, but you can see he's running out, and Louis gets to pull away as a result. Cohen's tired, seemingly still not in a good shape, and he's now hit the wall, and he's now out of the race. The top 3 on their medians have all passed the pits, and the VSD's now. Will anyone think about pitting? They have a chance, Kryptonite, and Steph does take the chance, as does Dino. And now what will they put on? I suppose they'll put some mediums on. They're at the back, so they've got nothing really to lose doing this. There's also a front wing for Dino, so perhaps the collision in the safety car earlier on and the 5-second penalty can get taken off there. So he doesn't lose as much from this as he would have done. And it's now a full safety car, so they lose effectively nothing, which is good. And it's an opportunity as well for more pit stops to happen. I'm hoping that we haven't just had the lobby go haywire. Certainly the pit lane cameras have gone haywire. But yeah, Steph and Dino didn't really lose much by pitting. But yeah, they'll probably still end up at the back now, because I imagine if you're on hard compound tyres, you might fancy changing them now in the pits.
Yeah, I think obviously Bolan and Louis, I don't think they haven't even passed the safety car. That's alright. That's alright. The safety car is still waiting for them, so they can go on to another set of mediums as they wish, get their second stop out of the way. I think if the top 3 pit, I'm almost certain that Nicolo and Cazzizzle may follow them through, but they may want to be trap position. I don't have a clue. I know Azzy will definitely pit that safety car. Like I said, he needed that and he saved it, and he will still be, I would say, P6 at the moment, but the question is will everyone else pit around him. If not, he's going to drop down to last, but at least he gets one of his stops out of the way, so he's going to come in. He has to come in anyway, otherwise he will get DQ. So watch Bolan. Does he come in? He does. So does Louis. CC Brain stays out. Nicolo goes in. Cazzizzle goes in. Barak stays out. Azzy, Devon, Mateo, Ricky, Kryptonite goes in. So all but one or two, actually all but 2 drivers have stayed, have gone into the pits, unlike the one from last time. So CC Brain is thinking those mediums could get to the end. That's a bit of a risky strategy from him. And Barak obviously on the hards. Well, he's got nothing to lose at the end of the day in terms of championship, so why not stay on those hard compounded tyres until the end of the race? Maybe it will come alive in the safety car restart, because his tyres will be warmer than compared to fresh mediums. And everyone that just pitted is on fresh mediums, by the way, and that will definitely get to the end, no problem. We'll just keep an eye on CC Brain. Please don't punch her, because that will be an absolute nightmare.
Well, he's going to be taking the risk, but the problem is it's only one car backing him up. And that car, Barak, may well not help him out too much. So I think CC Brain might find himself a sitting duck. He's still going to have more than half the race to go. And yeah, he'll fancy a trip into the pits for softs or something later on. But for now, yeah, this is not the best situation to be in.
It is not, and with Kryptonite getting a penalty as well, that safety car has not helped him as well, as he's going to drop quite a bit back and probably get outside of the points. The big gain is out of that safety car, obviously apart from the ones that have stopped. Let me have a look. Is Azzy, obviously with that free pit stop, and Mateo as well. Don't forget, I believe Mateo started near the back. He did not set a lap in quali, so with him going on an extra set, he started on mediums, then he went on to hards, then he went on to mediums again, so he's got some fresh rubber. Let's hope he didn't use any mediums in the qualifying session, because otherwise he'll be on a scrub set from quali, but that should get to the end. But he could salvage a top 9 finish, even higher as well, and He's currently sitting in 18th place, and the person who's directly ahead of him in the championship is, you guessed it, Kryptonite. So Kryptonite, I think, is the one that's most screwed over out of all of this. Matteo is the one who's gained quite a lot, so we'll see how Matteo gains in this race.
So we are basically now waiting for the safety car to come in, even though we've got the whole train here ready to go. Nothing's happening, so we're just gonna have to sit back for a minute, relax, and get ready for another restart. Movers during the race, obviously we're seeing that Barack and CC Brain have gained a lot. Barack being the most, and Matteo doing well, obviously, as well as you mentioned. Will Barack be able to hold on to some good position? He'll try and get to the end, I guess. But, yeah, I'm not entirely sure his pace will be there. But look, he's been there this season. His pace has been there this season, so we'll see how he gets on. We know he's been fighting a lot of his teammate in recent races. And that hasn't ended great. There's been a lot of what was it, Mexico, wasn't it, where they nearly collided on multiple occasions, and they held each other up, which let Tom win that race, one of the 6 that he won in a row.
His third in a row.
In the last 6 races before now, and yeah, they're going to have to try and navigate each other once again, because I imagine the safety car will be in this lap, and I imagine Bolin will be the one who's trying to get on the move as Azzy and Kasizzle swap positions. No harm done there though. And it is in this lap, safety car. So, it's CC Brain's turn to do a restart. And as the Aston Martin safety car gets itself to the end of the straight, will it be the last time we see the safety car this season? Or will we see more drama on this restart and in the second half of the Bahrain Grand Prix?
The final half of PSGL, season 30 as well. CC Brain, the F2 veteran, of course, been in F2 for quite a long time. Can he nail his restart? Well, he has nailed it quite a lot. He's gained about a 10th on Barack, and it's now 7 tenths clear of Barack at the moment. Bolin, well, will there be team orders in at this part of the race? Will Bolin be let through by Barack, or will Barack just hold fire at the moment and just keep that battle close? We've got Kasizzle trying to go around the right hand side of Nicolo into turn 2 and 3. He holds his line and he keeps it perfectly up into P5 as well. As he has got Devon, Matteo chasing him down. Matteo not gaining as many positions as he would have liked. He's actually under pressure from the Alpine car of Ricky actually into turn 4 and 5. Keep it steady, don't go into a spin. Usually people go into a spin there, but these two are showing that they could not go into a spin there. I thought Ricky was going to go late on the brakes heading towards turn 8, but he's got plenty of ERS to use as we head towards the next straight in towards turn 10, the heavy braking zone as well. CC Brain still leads. Devon the closest battle out of anyone, as well as Bolin on Barack. Again, Bolin can't get past Barack, but on lap 18 I think we'll see the main moves being made then, but we're already starting to see the tyre advantage on those fresh mediums compared to 9-lap-old hards for Barack and 9-lap-old mediums for CC Brain. So the more that Bolin stays behind Barack, the easier it gets for CC Brain.
And Bolin just sitting back there for now. I think CC Brain will be hoping that Barack could be used as a bit of a buffer to help him pull away to over a second, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen because Bolin is going to be up into second place pretty quickly here. Now, will Louis follow himself through as well? He sits with no ERS being used, so maybe not. As Bolin still on the inside of his team, not fully clear. And there he goes, he is now up into second place. Can Louis now fight Barack as well and get himself through? Let's see. Better movement from the Mercedes, there's a lot of movement actually. But can Louis get himself around anyway? Tight, but with the tyre advantage, through. And that is bad news if you're CC Brain, because your tyres will definitely be in a worse condition than Barack's are. So that could be a pretty easy move, and it would be FBR in 1 and 2 once again.
Just like the start of the race as well, so pretty much the order remains unchanged between the top two if Bolin and Louis can get past as well. Only difference is Barack on those hards is between themselves and the FBR boys right now in 4th position, but Kasizzle can get past him sooner or later as well. We see many a drama around here as well, in the Bahrain Grand Prix as well. Obviously we had 3 DNFs, but obviously with Bahrain it always tends to have quite a few DNFs around here, so we'll probably get to see more very, very soon. Red Bull has won, I think, the Bahrain Grand Prix quite a few times. Not this season though in real life, but I think Bolin is going to get past the Red Bull, and it is going to be Mercedes that leads into turn 1. Or CC Bray just about going to hold it. Bolin actually wants the DRS in turn 3 as Steph's now out. He's retired in the pit lane. Barak's been passed by Kazizel. Barak goes off the circuit, as I think Kazizel has the upper hand there, heading towards turn 3, heading towards turn 4. Barak, can he go down the inside? He does not. On those old tyres, it's just losing grip right now. Niccolo will get past. The one with son Aji will as well, but Barak is not giving up, is he?
Yeah, good fighting from Barak, just blocking off the space. Niccolo finds himself with no way through. And Bolin also finds himself with no way through as he headed through up towards turn 4. I was imagining CC Brain was going to lose the lead there, but he held on quite nicely. Has got the red X above his name now, so I hope he doesn't end up DCing or anything. That'd be a real shame to lose him in what is an interesting situation for him. Will he be trying to play any games here with Bolin, i.e. let him through on the main straight but try and keep Louis behind, then pick up some DRS? If you can run side by side into turn 1, you can basically manipulate it to get the second DRS zone. So there are ways of defending this.
Yes, could we see Bolin do what George Russell did yesterday and pull off a stellar defence at the Spanish Grand Prix? It is a Red Bull versus a Mercedes, a CC Brain. He did the dummy there. He did the dummy. That was a bit cheeky. Bolin's going to get CC Brain almost certainly into turn 1 with the extra km/h speed that you get. So Bolin into turn 1. He's going to lose DRS because Louis got the DRS. Yellow flag. Barak's off. Barak's off into turn 1. He's been passed by so many cars now. Those hards are just losing a lot of grip right now compared to everyone's fresh mediums. Louis does get past CC Brain. We will have the DRS on Bolin very soon, so this is a fight between Bolin and Louis for their first wins of the season. Nobody out of these two have won a race. Bolin got close with a few podiums. Louis got close with a few podiums, but neither of them have done so. This could be both for their chance to get it. The only other person to have won a race this season that is in this lobby is Barak, but he's currently down in 12th position and he's already out of the DRS train. Because although he could get past CC Brain anytime soon, I imagine it will be next lap. And in a lap's time, if people wish to, if they're a little bit too further back, they can go on the softs if there is another safety car. So if there is another safety car, people can go on the softs and they can make to the end.
So let's see how this all ends up panning out. The problem with turn 1 there, if you're wondering why neither Bolin or CC Brain had picked up DRS, because CC Brain unfortunately is just going to fall down right now. I'm guessing that CC Brain's plan was to get the DRS in towards 4, but they were actually equal on the line, and it cost CC Brain, so none of them got it, and he got done by Louis, who did have it. And he's lagging a bit more now, CC Brain. I hope that's not just me lagging, but he may end up a little bit of a roadblock at this point. And Bolin has said is doing a fine job. 1.3 clear, and setting himself up for the race win. Barak, having recovered from the spin on the soft compound tyres now, well, basically just go for faster lap, I suppose. And we're losing another host. We're losing Frankie, which doesn't help our situation. We lost Cohen earlier on as well, I believe. And massive lockout there for Azzy into turn 10. That whole wheel didn't blimmin' turn the whole way through. Can't be doing your tyre very good. CC Brain, of course, he's on, well, next lap he'll be on what the others will be finishing the race on, and I'll be 14 lap old medium tyres approximately, possibly 15. But the point is, he's heading towards, you know, the last 9 laps with so much more work to do on these tyres. He still, though, holds a P4 spot, and he's I think just about in the DRS range of Kazizel, as he has a big snap of oversteer out of the last corner, but does get the rear wing open, and that might just stop Niccolo getting through. or at least halt him for a little bit because he's run out of ERS. Look, has the McLaren. But he just about nicked the DRS on the inside of turn 1, so he picked his moment nicely there, did the McLaren. And gets himself through then. Can Cazil get himself by Louis? Because Louis just does not seem to have the pace, but Cazil didn't feel confident about getting the move done there, but they're letting Bolin run away with this at the moment. So we'll see if Bolin can get himself to the end, because if he does, he'll be on for, I believe, a 4th podium of the season, but most importantly, a first win of the season.
That'll be great, won't it, for the Mercedes driver? He's been wanting to win for so long. I remember he was so close to a win in Austria, but he just got so unlucky with the incidents that he's had. To be fair, I thought he would have had it in Austria, but, you know, good things come to those who wait, and he's been waiting so long for it as well. But not going to say too much more, because otherwise I might jinx it there as well. Remember Sergio Perez as well, he got his first win around here on the outer layout, so we could see a maiden victory there as well. Louis as well, potentially as well, because Cazil could take his 2nd win of the season. Still up there in 3rd place, with him just backing off a little bit. He's got on the worst DRS actually. Louis and Cazil have got 11 to 13% ERS, so is Bolin. Nicolo's even worse, CC Brain's even worse, as is on 13. Pretty much everybody, unless you're Mateo, is on about 12% ERS or less. And when you get to 10%, that's where you start to lose the power with the energy store. So they're going to be in a lot of trouble towards the end, as Barak is continuing to have a bad day, and he's got another 3-second time penalty to add to his rows. So I wonder if he's going to park it very soon. Hopefully not. He is going to carry on, luckily. You don't give up. CC Brain has passed, well, he's in 5th place at the moment, but Devon does get past Azzy. Azzy almost went past Devon there, heading towards turn 4 and 5. They were going at it there for position. It's not that long to go until the end of the race, because these last moves can be absolutely crucial, because CC Brain is out of DRS. So Devon is now in a train led by CC Brain.
Yeah, what happened there was that Azzy tried to go around the outside of CC Brain and didn't make the corner at all, and it's cost him some ground, and CC Brain, obviously in fighting, has also lost some ground, and so that lets Nicolo and Cazil fight away perhaps with Louis under a little bit less pressure from CC Brain, and he won't catch that back up because of the issues he has with his tyres. Now, look at these two both slowing down, Devon and CC Brain. They're both doing this to pick up DRS, and Azzy clearly hasn't quite picked up on the memo there, and he's gone straight through, and he's going to get overtaken now, I think, as we see Cazil turning his DRS off. Same with Nicolo. They do not want to be fighting yet into turn 1. Devon gets himself ahead as he tries to dive back up his inside. That might cost him the run up towards turn 2, but it's because he had Ricky fighting him as well that he had to be a bit more aggressive, as Dino falls to the back of the train. And Devon then is up into 5th position, and he should be able to hold on to that. Dino now behind the other Red Bull. Has he got some sort of front wing damage or something like that, or did he just have some sort of issue? He's no damage visually, although he is losing time, so we'll keep our eye on him just in case he does pit. CC Brain now down in 8th place, so he is falling dangerously close to falling out of the points positions, and Mateo and Kryptonite, his teammate, will be on him soon, and there's still a long way to go on these tyres. So he's gone from the front to 8th so far. Let's see if he may even think about pitting for Sauce just to get into some clean air, because I think the inevitable will be falling down. And I do think Dino has got some sort of front wing damage, because, or even floor damage, whatever it is, because
he's losing so much time.
So we're going to see CC Brain, if he does decide to pit, he'll still come out in 10th place and get a chance to go for the fastest lap. So he might as well do that if he fancies it and have a little bit of fun. Now, is Cazil happy to use the DRS yet and the ERS? I think he has to, because Nicolo is fighting him now. And will Nicolo get 2 cars for the price of 1 as they head through towards turn 1? The McLaren on the inside, Louis in the Alfa Romeo on the outside, and they fight away for 2nd place. It's a good wheel-to-wheel scrap. And look out for Cazil coming back. Which one of these 3 comes out in front? Louis and Nicolo, and now Kazizzle right around the outside of the McLaren. Will they end this in the same order that they started it? They keep going side by side, the Aston and the McLaren, and it is the McLaren and Nicolo who gets himself up into the podium positions.
There we go. He could get his best result of the season, Nicolo, as well. He's been under huge pressure all race, but he's been biding his time, being a bit patient. His best result, Nicolo, was a P... I'm trying to remember. It was a P... it was 8 points around Monaco, so I remembered it was one of his best results, and it was a 4th place, so he's so close to be getting his best results. 2 more points, and that will add to that, and it will be... So Nicolo will be on 46 points after that, and obviously Andrea missing, Cameron Dowd as well. So Nicolo could actually jump into the top 10 of this championship if he gets decent results tonight, and he's not under pressure from Kazizzle, but that's easier said than done. You can even get Louis there as well, and all this is allowing Bolan just to stretch that gap. He's absolutely dominating, almost pretty much 4 seconds now, and all this battling is just saying, Bolan saying thank you very much, and Nicolo, I don't think he was meant... Is he going to have the DRS, though, into turn 2 and 3? I don't think he is, so...
Look at Kazizzle, though. Kazizzle's having to fight with Louis. That's, I suppose, what Nicolo wants to avoid. And look at Kazizzle into the gravel trap. He'll spin, just about holds it. Nicely done, but he will have Devon coming through. And Nicolo, it proved to be the right decision to get through at turn 1, because those two, Louis and Kazizzle, side by side, can the Aston Martin catch back up? If he does, he's going to bring a much bigger train with him.
Yes, I think Nicolo is probably relieved that Kazizzle has spun as well, but Kazizzle is still back in this train, and we know how quick Kazizzle is on the pace at the moment. Obviously won a race before. Devon as well could be up there, and I think as it stands in the championship, Devon is pretty much confirmed 3rd, because CC Brain is in 8th place, and CC Brain needs to outscore Devon by quite a bit. So Devon is doing all he needs to do, and as long as he doesn't spin or get damaged, P3 will be his, and that will be a decent result on his F2 season debut, and could be a title contender next season in F2 if he is in F2, or if he's in F1. That could be kind of interesting as well, because a lot of the F1 guys are moving over to PC next season. It seems to be a problem every season actually, where quite a few of the PS guys move to PC, but we do get quite a lot, so we could see pretty much most of these guys go to F1 next season if they have a good result tonight, Devon being one of them. As Mateo gets past CC Brain, I think CC Brain's tyres are almost at the end of their life right now, because even his teammate Kryptonite is trying to get past him as well. But yeah, I wonder what CC Brain's tyres are looking like right now in terms of tyre wear. Not very good, it seems.
No, not very good at the minute, but he is still holding on to that P9. Which I suppose is better than nothing, and you'll have noticed, like I say, the train now for 2nd place goes all the way down to Kryptonite in 10th. So we will see if Nicolo can hold on and stay as the leader of the train. Louis does have more ERS than him, not much more, but enough to sort of have a little bit of a threat, because Izzle has gone again, and he's going to fall right to the back. And I tell you what, it's a good thing that Aston Martin got the constructors sealed last week, because only going to be getting 1 point as it stands today, possibly 2. Although those rear tyres might be a little bit warmer than they could be, so that'll lose a little more time for Kazizzle. But yeah, that's a real shame, going from a podium fight to 10th place. But it gives Devon a chance to go for the podium. And it looks like 3rd place in the championship. Well, it'll be between him and Louis, won't it, in the end, I think? Am I right about that?
Actually, Louis is in a fight for 3rd as well. I forgot about that. So I will need to do some maths. I thought it was Devon and CC Brain, but no, CC Brain out there in 8th. Could be Louis versus Devon, but I'm just trying to... So the gap between Louis and Devon is 10 points. So... Louis will need to outscore Devon by 10 points. So no, as it stands, Devon will be 3rd. So Louis will need to get past both Nicolo and Bolan, but Louis will need to win, you know. I think. But I'll do the maths. I've got the spreadsheet, so I will add the results in and see what happens as Dino gets the fast lap of the race. He's in 12th though, so he's not going to get that fastest lap point. Will CC Brain on those old mediums go on to some softs to get the fast lap? I don't think he's going to, because he will be out of the point. So he's just sitting duck again. He'll probably be out of the point if he's not careful, but he's lucky that Barak and Dino had to pick quite late on for the softs, because they were struggling quite a little bit too. So lap 27, almost on lap 28. Bolin still leads. The gap's still holding steady between himself and Nicolo as well. So this is good for him. This is a race where he needed no bad luck to come to him. He's pretty much been faultless all race so far, and he's pretty much got 2 more laps to continue driving the way he's driving at the moment, and he's got to make sure his tyres are in good nat as well, but he should be fine because those tyres will get to the end. But 4.3, he's gained a 10th on Nicolo that sector, so he's already improving on his time. He's even saving his ERS. Look, he's at the front, he doesn't even need to use the DRS. That's how much of an advantage he's got to the rest of the field.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, doesn't it, for the first win of the season, and a good way to finish off this game. But we'll see if he can get to the end first. Always the potential for an error to happen. Of course, we don't wish it upon anyone, but it is always something they'll be thinking about as well as us. As we watch then, Nicolo, 16% ERS, Louis, 20% more. And that will certainly give him some firepower as we see Dino into the pits to retire. His season is now over as well. So yeah, we will definitely see Louis go for it on the last lap. I'm sure of that. I'm surprised he's using ERS this early. You don't need to waste it. Don't be wasting it, because you'll have 2 runs at a DRS in the last lap. I have a feeling Nicolo may try something here. We saw, what was it, Devon and CC Brain were mucking about on this straight when it came to slowing down to try and give others DRS, as he was happy to pass them on that occasion. Nicolo looks like he's just gonna floor it and hope for the best. As we see Bolin starting at the final lap, he is on his way to the checkered flag at the end of this one, but who is going to join him on the podium? Nicolo moving over to defend, but he hasn't got anything to defend with for now. Louis comes through. Will Nicolo do anything in the braking zone? No, he's just going to sit there. He'll take some DRS now. If he can get a good run up the hill, perhaps second place may still be there for him. He opens the rear wing up, and let's see, will he close in? D-rating for both him and Louis, and that stops the move from happening. And that will, for now, keep Louis in P2. There's still one more DRS zone, and always the potential for mistakes to go on. And I think, though, Louis should be able to hold on to this one. Louis, who has... he'll finish probably 4th in the championship as long as, so he does still move up.
Yeah, he will finish 4th because CC Brain's only in 9th. So he will finish 4th in the championship.
He will also equal his best result of the season. He's had 2 second places so far. So that is looking good for him. And Nicolo, that was the chance to get through the last one. I don't think it's going to happen. And that means we can turn our attention to the Mercedes then. And the season has started all the way back in Portugal with a Mercedes on top. And it looks like, with just 2 more corners to go, that it's on course for it to be a Mercedes at the top once again. To close off his season, he's had 3 podiums so far. He's going to make it 4, and he's going to finish in style. Bolin wins in Bahrain. It's going to be FVR finishing 2nd as well, with Louis up there too, so they'll be very, very happy. And Nicolo as well in P3. A good result for him, of course. Hasn't been the easiest season in the world, but does end it off with a podium. And that will certainly leave him happy. Devon in 4th place, takes 3rd in the championship. A very impressive debut season in F2. Ricky in P5, Matteo 6th, CC Brain 7th, Azzy 8th, and then we'll confirm the rest. I think it was Kryptonite and Kazizzle, and then Barak would be the last finisher, but we'll confirm all that in a moment.
And Matteo, don't forget, started near the back of the grid, and he managed to get some points as well. So it just goes to show you just keep it out there. Even if you have a bad race at the start, you will get a good result there as well. 3 different nationalities on the podium and 3 different constructors on the podium as well. We've got Mercedes, an Alfa Romeo, and a McLaren, none of which have won the constructors this season. So I think no matter what happened, I think Aston Martin would have won it anyway, because obviously 16 points for Bolin, and Barak, I believe, hasn't scored anything, so that doesn't make any difference. So your order then is Bolin from Louis, from Nicolo, Devon, Ricky, Matteo, CC Brain, Azzy, Kryptonite, and because these are your point scorers, Barack is your final finisher, only finisher to not score a point. Then Dino, Steph, Cohen, Legend and Frankie retired. Most of them retired in the pit lane. I think Frankie caused the first safety car as far as I'm aware. But most other people are retiring in the pit lane and ended their season early. So that is the end of season 30. Again, we started at the first race at the beginning of January, and now we're towards the end of May, and that was the last race on F1 2021 for these guys.
Yeah, that is an end to the game. I wonder if people will be happy about that or not. I'll be happy about that. I can't stand this game. I can't wait to hopefully move on to a better one. But yeah, I'm glad we had a good race to end it off, and I'm glad the drivers have been able to perform well tonight, and always good to end with a first time winner for the season, because it means we have just one more happy person.
Yes, and it's nice to have a different winner as well, because we've been seeing Tom winning the last 6 races, but with Tom obviously out the equation tonight, it was just nice to see 2 or 3 drivers fighting for the win. I think Devin was in that fight as well, but I think he just got so unlucky towards the end as well, but still 4th place is pretty decent for him as well, and some pretty good races I think this season as well. I think quite a few stick to mind as well. I think I remember Brazil was a pretty decent race. Singapore as well was quite decent. Obviously Portugal the first round of the season. What has been your highlights?
I think just watching Tom go from the guy that made the mistake at Monaco, I'm sure he loves me constantly mentioning this, but it was a serious mistake at Monaco, and how he turned that around to win the next race, and then the run he's been on in the second half of the season with the 6 wins in a row and taking the title. I mean, his form's been impeccable. He had some really good wins as well. I mean, the free wide pass at Zandvoort of all tracks was incredible, and how he handled the free car fight in Imola as well. So I think, yeah, certainly a few good highlights there.
Yeah, I think obviously Tom was runner-up last season in F3. He had more wins than Devin last season, but Devin was a bit more consistent. But this time Tom did not DNF in the penultimate round of the season, and he was able to win the title with 6 wins to his name in a row, and obviously 1 win he got in France. He got 2 other podiums as well, and it's just nice to see the improvement, and I really do hope that he does well in the top tier on the next game, because he deserves it. I've known him from other leagues as well. He's come from a driver that drives for fun to a driver that takes it very seriously and races close to F1 esports level, to be honest, as well. So we could see him up for challenges very soon as well, and that'll be amazing to see. I don't think we've got anyone else in for interviews, so we were going to wrap up the stream there for the final time this season. So thank you all so much for watching for the entire season. If you only watched us for 1 race or for the entire season, it doesn't matter. Every little helps. Thanks to all the drivers for racing, because without the drivers there'll be no show. Obviously thanks to our tier admin for this season, Kryptonite, for keeping us on the straight, and now he's also been our head steward as well. Thank you to him. Thank you also to Cohen, who has been hosting pretty much most of the races. Thank you to him as well. Thank you obviously to the other stewards who been helping decide the results for this season, if people are behaving quite badly as well. Thank you to all the other commentators for all the other tiers as well on PlayStation. You've been absolutely incredible. And also thank you to my co-commentators. It's been, I think, 3 seasons now, Owen, since we've been commentating together as well. And I think you're going to be very, I think, busy from now on, I think. So you won't be commentating as much. But have you enjoyed the last few seasons in F2?
Yeah, it's been a good time. It's been good fun watching the F2 drivers. Always fun to watch them moving up in the world and getting their promotions to F1. We've seen plenty of good drivers come through in the last couple of seasons. I hope in the future I'll be able to see some more come up. I have no idea though what my commentary will be like next season. It just depends on how university goes. But if you see me again, that'd be great. If you don't, that's a bit of a shame, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so we may see another appearance, you never know, but I'll try and find you a way somehow, don't worry, because you are a legend of PSGL anyway. Final thank yous then, also thank you to Alan Wanda for doing all the intros, CC Brain with all the graphics that you're seeing at the moment. To be honest, that looks absolutely amazing. And also to the big man, Connor, who could forget him as well, for organising the lead, making the candle with the directors as well, and placing everybody in their respective tiers as well, because it's been a very close season. So for myself, for knowing for the final time this season, thank you for watching. We've got the final round of PSF1 live at the moment in Bahrain. They've got their championship decider between Isma and Matthew Older, and I'm almost certain Isma's going to win it, but you never know. So join Luke and Aidan right now on the PSGL channel. Make sure you subscribe as well, and go on follow us on Twitter and Instagram. So have a good evening. Make sure you tune into the F1 stream right now and show them your support. And we will see you next season for season 31. We don't know what tier we're going to be in next season, or if not at all, but you will see everyone, I would assume, for season 31 on the PlayStation. Have a good evening and goodbye.